I am about to reveal the exact changes your body undergoes when you consume 5 eggs every single day for 30 days. This isn't just about protein, it's about a complete metabolic shift that can redefine how you age. We often fear cholesterol, but the truth is far more nuanced, and for many seniors, avoiding eggs has been a mistake. I have seen patients transformed by this simple dietary addition. I remember a woman named Martha, 74 years old, who was frail and terrified of eating eggs because of outdated advice. She struggled to lift her grandchildren and felt constantly weak. After we adjusted her diet to include nutrient-dense eggs, her strength returned and her fear vanished. You might be worried about your heart, but your doctor might have been focusing on the wrong numbers. Before we begin, a critical disclaimer. The information I'm sharing today is strictly for educational purposes and should not be considered medical advice. I am not your personal physician and cannot provide individualized medical guidance through this video. Never stop, start, or change any medication or diet without first consulting with your doctor. 1. The Muscle Preservation Protocol. Eat 5 eggs daily to combat age-related muscle loss. Sarcopenia, or the involuntary loss of skeletal muscle mass and strength, is a significant concern for everyone over the age of 60. It happens gradually, often without you noticing, until simple tasks become difficult. Muscles are the metabolic engine of your body, burning sugar and keeping your metabolism active. When you lose muscle, you become more frail, your balance suffers, and your risk of falls increases dramatically. Eggs are a powerhouse of high-quality protein, and more importantly, leucine. Leucine is an essential amino acid that acts as a trigger for muscle protein synthesis. Think of it as the ignition switch for building and repairing muscle tissue. Without enough leucine, your body cannot effectively use the protein you eat to maintain your muscle mass. I recall a patient named Arthur, 72 years old, who came to me complaining that he struggled to get out of his armchair without using his arms for support. He was eating toast and jam for breakfast and skipping lunch, thinking he was being healthy by eating light. He was losing muscle mass rapidly because his protein intake was too low and poorly timed. We introduced eggs into his daily routine, specifically at breakfast. Within a month, Arthur reported feeling sturdier on his feet. He could stand up from his chair with much less effort. His grip strength improved, which is a key indicator of overall longevity. The change wasn't magic. It was simply providing his body with the raw materials it desperately needed to repair the daily wear and tear on his muscles. The yolk contains nearly half the protein found in an egg, along with essential vitamins and minerals that support muscle function. Many people discard the yolk thinking it is unhealthy, but that is where much of the nutritional value lies. The combination of protein and fat in the whole egg helps slow digestion, providing a steady stream of amino acids to your muscles over several hours. This is crucial for seniors because our bodies become less efficient at processing protein as we age. We need more of it, and we need it in a highly bioavailable form to get the same muscle-building effect as a younger person. To implement this, you should aim to eat your eggs in the morning or early afternoon. Research suggests that spreading protein intake throughout the day is better for muscle maintenance than eating it all at dinner. By starting your day with a significant dose of high-quality protein from eggs, you turn on your muscle-building machinery right away. If eating 5 eggs at once feels like too much, you can split them up. Have 3 for breakfast and 2 hard-boiled eggs as a snack later in the day. The key is consistency. You are not trying to become a bodybuilder. You are trying to hold on to the precious muscle you have to maintain your independence and mobility. There is a common misconception that you need fancy protein shakes or supplements to maintain muscle. While those can be helpful, real food is always superior. Eggs provide a complete amino acid profile in the perfect ratios for human consumption. They are also rich in vitamin D, which plays a vital role in muscle function. Low vitamin D levels are associated with muscle weakness and falls in the elderly. By eating whole eggs, you are getting a natural source of vitamin D that is easily absorbed by the body. It is important to note that cooking methods matter. Boiling, poaching, or scrambling eggs are excellent ways to prepare them without adding excessive unhealthy fats. If you fry them, use a small amount of healthy fat like olive oil or butter, but be mindful of the calories if you are watching your weight. The goal is to maximize the nutritional benefit of the egg itself. Overcooking eggs, especially the yolks, can reduce the bioavailability of some nutrients, so try to keep the yolks slightly soft if you enjoy them that way. If you have kidney disease or are on a protein-restricted diet prescribed by your doctor, you must consult them before increasing your egg intake to this level. However, for most healthy seniors, the high protein content of eggs is a benefit, not a danger. The fear of protein damaging the kidneys in people with healthy kidney function is largely unfounded. In fact, adequate protein is essential for kidney health as it supports the structural integrity of the organ. This dietary change supports steadier energy levels throughout the morning. When you eat a carbohydrate-heavy breakfast, your blood sugar spikes and then crashes, leaving you hungry and tired. Eggs provide a sustained release of energy that keeps you feeling full and alert. This can prevent overeating later in the day and help you manage your weight, which is another critical factor in preserving muscle mass and joint health. 2. The Vision Protection Shield. Consume eggs to protect your eyes from age-related degeneration. Vision loss is one of the most feared aspects of aging. Conditions like macular degeneration and cataracts can severely impact your quality of life and independence. The macula is the part of your eye responsible for central vision, which you use for reading, driving, and recognizing faces. As we age, the pigment in the macula can break down, leading to blurred vision and eventual blindness. However, nature has provided a potent defense mechanism in the form of two antioxidants, lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds accumulate in the retina and act as a natural sunscreen for your eyes, filtering out harmful blue light and protecting the delicate cells from oxidative damage. I remember Margaret, a 68-year-old woman who loved to knit and drive but was finding it increasingly difficult. She complained about glare when driving at night and needed brighter and brighter lights to see her knitting patterns. Her eye doctor had mentioned the early signs of macular degeneration. Margaret was worried she would lose her ability to do the things she loved. We discussed her diet, and it turned out she rarely ate eggs. After incorporating eggs into her daily routine, along with leafy greens, her sensitivity to glare improved significantly. While diet cannot cure advanced disease, it can slow progression and improve functional vision. Margaret felt more confident driving and could continue her hobbies with less strain. Eggs are one of the best dietary sources of lutein and zeaxanthin. While these antioxidants are also found in leafy green vegetables like spinach and kale, the fat in the egg yolk makes them much more bioavailable. This means your body can absorb and utilize them far more efficiently from eggs than from vegetables alone. In fact, studies have shown that eating eggs can increase plasma levels of lutein and zeaxanthin more effectively than supplements or spinach. The yellow color of the yolk comes directly from these pigments. The deeper the yellow or orange color of the yolk, the higher the content of these protective nutrients. Your eyes are under constant attack from light exposure and oxidative stress. Over decades, this damage accumulates. By ensuring a steady intake of lutein and zeaxanthin, you are constantly replenishing the protective pigment in your macula. Think of it as topping up the oil in your car's engine. It keeps everything running smoothly and prevents wear and tear. This is particularly important for seniors who spend time on screens or in bright sunlight. The blue light emitted by digital devices can be damaging to the aging eye, and these antioxidants provide a crucial layer of defense. It is not just about the macula. These nutrients also appear to lower the risk of developing cataracts. Cataracts are a clouding of the lens of the eye, which leads to blurry vision. Oxidative stress is a major contributor to cataract formation. By neutralizing free radicals in the eye, lutein and zeaxanthin help keep the lens clear. This can delay or even prevent the need for cataract surgery in some individuals. To get the most benefit, you need to eat the whole egg. The antioxidants are concentrated entirely in the yolk. Egg whites contain no lutein or zeaxanthin. If you have been throwing away the yolks to avoid cholesterol, you have also been throwing away the vision-protecting nutrients. It is the combination of the fat and the antioxidants in the yolk that makes eggs a superfood for your eyes. You should aim to consume your eggs with other eye-healthy foods if possible. For example, a spinach omelet provides a double dose of lutein, and the fat from the eggs helps you absorb the nutrients from the spinach. This synergistic effect maximizes the protective benefits for your vision. It is a simple, delicious way to invest in your long-term eye health without needing expensive supplements. Caution is needed if you are already taking high-dose supplements for eye health, as you want to avoid excessive intake of certain vitamins, though getting nutrients from whole foods like eggs is generally safe and self-limiting. Always tell your eye doctor about your dietary changes so they can monitor your progress. This supports clearer vision and better night driving ability. Many seniors accept deteriorating vision as an inevitable part of aging, but nutrition plays a massive role in how well your eyes hold up over time. By feeding your eyes the specific nutrients they need, you are giving them the best chance to remain sharp and healthy well into your later years. 3. The cognitive and memory anchor. Prioritize eggs to support brain function and memory retention. Cognitive decline is a major worry for many adults over 60. We all have moments where we forget a name or walk into a room and forget why we are there. While some of this is normal, persistent brain fog and memory lapses can be distressing. The brain is a high-energy organ that requires specific nutrients to function optimally. One of the most critical, yet often overlooked nutrients for brain health is choline. Choline is a precursor to acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that is essential for memory, mood, and muscle control. Acetylcholine is the chemical messenger that allows your brain cells to communicate with each other effectively. I think of Robert, a 75-year-old retired engineer who prided himself on his sharp mind. He started noticing that he was frequently misplacing his keys and struggling to recall words during conversations. It frustrated him immensely and made him anxious about social situations. He feared he was on a slippery slope. When we looked at his diet, it was low in choline-rich foods. He started eating eggs daily, which are a premier source of choline. Over a few months, Robert reported that he felt sharper. The brain fog seemed to lift, and he felt more like his old self. His wife noticed he was less repetitive in his stories and more engaged in their daily crossword puzzles. Low levels of acetylcholine are associated with cognitive decline and even Alzheimer's disease. As we age, our bodies may become less efficient at producing acetylcholine, making dietary choline even more critical. Eggs are one of the most concentrated food sources of choline available. A single large egg contains about 147 mg of choline, which is roughly 27% of the recommended daily intake. Eating 5 eggs puts you well into the optimal range for supporting your brain's needs. The choline is found exclusively in the yolk. Once again, skipping the yolk means missing out on this vital brain nutrient. Choline is also necessary for maintaining the structural integrity of cell membranes in the brain. It helps keep your brain cells healthy and resilient. In addition to choline, eggs provide B vitamins, specifically B6, B12, and folate, which are known to reduce levels of homocysteine in the blood. High homocysteine levels are a risk factor for cognitive impairment, stroke, and Alzheimer's disease. This is not about boosting your IQ overnight, it is about maintaining the cognitive reserve you have. It is about preserving your ability to learn new things, recall old memories, and navigate your daily life with confidence. The brain is like a muscle. It needs the right fuel to perform. If you deprive it of essential nutrients like choline, performance will suffer. Consider the role of inflammation in brain health. Chronic inflammation is believed to be a driver of neurodegenerative diseases. The phospholipids in egg yolks have been shown to have anti-inflammatory properties that may help protect the brain. By reducing inflammation, you create a better environment for your neurons to function and survive. Preparing eggs in a way that preserves their nutrients is important. Soft-boiled or poached eggs are ideal because they minimize the oxidation of the cholesterol and preserve the delicate fats and vitamins. However, any way you eat them is better than not eating them at all. You can add brain-boosting spices like turmeric or black pepper to your eggs to further enhance their cognitive benefits. There is no need to worry about the cholesterol in eggs affecting your brain health negatively. In fact, the brain contains a massive amount of cholesterol. It is essential for the formation of synapses, the connections between neurons. Statins and extremely low cholesterol levels have sometimes been linked to memory issues in some individuals. Your brain needs cholesterol to work. This supports better focus and quicker word retrieval. It gives you the mental stamina to engage with your hobbies, your family, and your community. Instead of withdrawing due to fear of embarrassment, you can stay active and involved, which in itself is a powerful protector against cognitive decline. 4. The cholesterol ratio adjustment. Eat eggs to improve your cholesterol profile and heart health markers. For decades, we were told that eating cholesterol-rich foods like eggs would clog our arteries and lead to heart attacks. This advice was based on a misunderstanding of how cholesterol works in the body. We now know that for the vast majority of people, the cholesterol you eat has very little impact on the cholesterol in your blood. Your liver produces most of the cholesterol your body needs. When you eat more cholesterol, your liver simply produces less to compensate. It is a tightly regulated system. The real danger to heart health often comes from sugar, refined carbohydrates, and trans fats, which cause inflammation and damage the blood vessels. I recall Eleanor, a 70-year-old woman who had avoided eggs for 20 years because a doctor once told her she had borderline high cholesterol. She missed eating them but was terrified of clogging her pipes. She was eating oatmeal and fruit for breakfast, which caused her blood sugar to spike. We decided to reintroduce eggs into her diet and monitor her blood work. After a month, her total cholesterol had risen slightly, but her HDL, the good cholesterol, had gone up significantly and her triglycerides had dropped. Her doctor was initially skeptical but had to admit that her overall risk profile had improved. Eleanor was relieved and delighted to enjoy her favorite breakfast again. The key is to understand the difference between HDL and LDL. HDL acts like a scavenger, picking up excess cholesterol from your blood and carrying it back to the liver to be processed. High levels of HDL are protective against heart disease. Eggs are excellent at raising HDL levels. LDL is often called bad cholesterol, but it is not that simple. There are different types of LDL particles. Small, dense LDL particles are the ones that tend to get stuck in artery walls and cause plaque. Large, fluffy LDL particles are generally harmless. Eating eggs tends to change LDL particles from the dangerous small, dense type to the benign, large, fluffy type. So, while your total cholesterol number might go up slightly when you eat 5 eggs a day, the quality of your cholesterol improves. The ratio of total cholesterol to HDL is a much better predictor of heart disease risk than just the total number. By raising HDL, eggs improve this ratio. Furthermore, eggs are low in saturated fat compared to many other animal proteins, and they contain healthy monounsaturated fats, which are good for the heart. It is also crucial to look at triglycerides. Triglycerides are a type of fat in your blood that is elevated by eating too many carbohydrates and sugars. When you replace a high-carb breakfast like bagels or sugary cereal with eggs, your triglyceride levels typically go down. High triglycerides combined with low HDL is a dangerous combination for heart health. Eggs help reverse this pattern. Of course, genetics play a role. There is a small percentage of the population, known as hyperresponders, whose cholesterol levels do rise significantly with dietary intake. However, even in these people, the rise is often in both HDL and LDL, maintaining the protective ratio. If you have a genetic condition like familial hypercholesterolemia, you should follow your specialist's advice. But for the average senior, eggs are safe and beneficial. The inflammation factor is again relevant here. Chronic inflammation in the arteries is what causes cholesterol to become trapped and form plaque. Eggs contain anti-inflammatory nutrients like lutein, zeaxanthin, and choline. By reducing systemic inflammation, you reduce the risk of atherosclerosis. When you eat your eggs, try to avoid pairing them with processed meats like bacon or sausage, which are linked to heart disease. Instead, have them with avocado, tomatoes, or a slice of whole grain bread. This keeps the meal heart-healthy and nutrient-dense. The context of the whole diet matters more than any single food. This supports a healthier cardiovascular system and better blood lipid markers. You can stop fearing the egg and start seeing it as a tool for heart health. It is a nutrient-dense, natural food that has sustained humans for thousands of years. The fear-mongering of the past has been largely debunked by modern science. 5. The metabolic and satiety effect. Replace your grain-based breakfast with eggs to stabilize blood sugar and burn stubborn fat. Metabolic health often declines rapidly after 60, leading to weight gain, particularly around the midsection, and fluctuating energy levels that can leave you feeling exhausted by noon. This isn't just about vanity. Visceral fat is a metabolic organ that releases inflammatory signals, increasing the risk of diabetes and heart disease. The standard senior breakfast of toast, oatmeal, or cereal creates a glucose spike followed by a sharp insulin response. Insulin is a fat storage hormone. When insulin is high, your body cannot access stored fat for energy. By switching to a high-protein, zero-carb breakfast like eggs, you keep insulin levels low. This allows your body to stay in a fat-burning mode for hours, providing a steady stream of energy without the crash that leads to mid-morning napping. I recall James, a 66-year-old retired teacher, who couldn't understand why he was gaining weight despite eating healthy, whole grains. He struggled with energy crashes at 11 a.m. and often felt shaky if he didn't have a snack. His doctor had warned him about his rising blood sugar levels. We switched his breakfast to a 3-egg omelet with spinach. Within 2 weeks, James reported that his mid-morning hunger had vanished. He lost 2 inches off his waist over the month without counting calories, simply because he wasn't fighting against his own insulin levels anymore. His energy remained constant, allowing him to return to his garden in the afternoons. The mechanism here is the thermic effect of food. Protein requires more energy to digest than carbohydrates or fats. Your body burns calories just to process the protein in the eggs. This metabolic boost, combined with the high satiety factor of eggs, creates a natural calorie deficit without the feeling of deprivation. You feel full because eggs trigger the release of satiety hormones like PYY and GLP-1, which tell your brain you have had enough to eat. This is far more effective than willpower. When your hormones are working for you, resisting the urge to snack on cookies or crackers becomes effortless. Many seniors struggle with anabolic resistance, meaning their bodies are less sensitive to the signals that build muscle and burn fat. A high dose of protein in the morning helps overcome this resistance. It jumpstarts your metabolism for the day. Furthermore, the choline in eggs helps the liver metabolize fat, preventing the accumulation of fat in the liver itself, a condition known as fatty liver disease, which is becoming increasingly common. To implement this, you must be strict about the no-toast rule for the first month. The magic happens when you remove the competing carbohydrates. If you eat eggs with toast, you still trigger the insulin spike. Try eating your eggs with sliced tomatoes, cucumbers, or a side of avocado instead. This provides volume and fiber without the metabolic disruption of bread. If you miss the crunch, try adding some pumpkin seeds or nuts to your meal. This approach also stabilizes your mood. Blood sugar swings are often responsible for irritability and anxiety. By flattening the glucose curve, you might find yourself feeling calmer and more patient. This is a subtle but profound change that improves your relationships and your daily experience of life. There is a common fear that eating dietary fat will make you fat. This is nutritionally incorrect in the context of a low-carbohydrate meal. The fat in the egg yolk slows down gastric emptying, keeping you full longer. It provides the fuel your body needs when you are not running on sugar. Do not fear the yolk. It is the satiety engine of the egg. If you have type 2 diabetes, this change is even more critical. You will likely see a reduction in your fasting blood glucose numbers. However, because this diet is powerful, it can lower blood sugar significantly. If you are on insulin or medication like glipizide, you must monitor your numbers closely to avoid hypoglycemia. This supports a leaner waistline and all-day energy stamina. It frees you from the tyranny of constant hunger and the need to carry snacks everywhere you go. You regain control over your appetite, which is a liberating feeling after years of struggling with weight fluctuations. 6. The bone and immunity support. Consume whole eggs to fortify your skeleton and strengthen your immune defense. As we age, our bones become more porous, and our immune system becomes slower to respond to threats. This dual decline leaves us vulnerable to fractures from minor falls and susceptible to infections that linger longer than they should. We often focus solely on calcium for bones, but the skeletal system requires a complex matrix of nutrients to maintain its density and structural integrity. Vitamin D is the gatekeeper of calcium. Without it, your body cannot absorb the calcium you eat. Unfortunately, vitamin D deficiency is rampant among seniors, partly because our skin becomes less efficient at synthesizing it from sunlight. Eggs are one of the few natural food sources of vitamin D, making them an essential tool in the fight against osteoporosis and frailty. I think of Patricia, 74, who described herself as feeling brittle and was constantly catching colds from her grandchildren. She was taking calcium supplements, but her bone density scans showed little improvement, and she felt perpetually run down. She rarely ate eggs, preferring yogurt and fruit. We added eggs to her daily diet to boost her vitamin D and protein intake naturally. Over the next winter, Patricia noticed she didn't catch the usual seasonal flu that swept through her family. She also reported feeling sturdier and more confident walking on uneven ground. While bone density takes a long time to change on a scan, her physical resilience and immune response showed immediate functional improvement. The yolk is also rich in vitamin B12, a nutrient that is absolutely critical for nerve function and red blood cell formation. B12 deficiency mimics many signs of aging, including fatigue, weakness, and poor balance. As we get older, our stomach acid decreases, making it harder to absorb B12 from meat. The B12 in eggs is highly bioavailable. Adequate B12 levels prevent the neurological decline that often leads to falls. It keeps your nerves firing quickly, helping you react if you trip. This connection between nerve health and bone safety is often overlooked, but is vital for preventing the falls that break bones in the first place. Furthermore, eggs contain zinc and selenium, two minerals that are fundamental to a robust immune system. Selenium, in particular, acts as an antioxidant that reduces oxidative stress in the body, which can damage bone cells and immune cells alike. By eating 5 eggs, you are providing a steady supply of these trace minerals that are often missing from a tea and toast diet. This nutritional insurance policy helps your body mount a stronger defense against viruses and bacteria. To get the best results, look for pasture-raised or vitamin D-enriched eggs if your budget allows. Chickens that spend time in the sunlight produce eggs with significantly higher vitamin D levels, sometimes 3 to 4 times more than conventional eggs. The investment in higher quality eggs is an investment in cheaper medical bills down the road. If you can only afford standard eggs, they are still excellent, but enriched ones give you an extra therapeutic dose. You can prepare these in batches to ensure you always have them ready. Hard boil a dozen eggs at the start of the week. Having a quick, nutrient-dense snack ready prevents you from reaching for low-nutrient processed foods when you are tired. You can even pickle them for a probiotic boost if you enjoy that flavor profile, adding another layer of immune support through gut health. It is important to remember that protein itself makes up a large portion of your bone volume. Bones are not just chalky minerals. They are a living protein matrix, mineralized with calcium. If you don't eat enough protein, your body cannot maintain this matrix, leading to flexibility loss and brittleness. The high-quality protein in eggs directly supports this collagen structure within your bones. Caution is needed if you have a specific allergy to egg proteins, specifically albumin. While rare in seniors, it is mostly a childhood allergy. If you notice digestive distress, consult your doctor. For the vast majority, eggs are easily digestible and soothing to the gut. This supports a robust immune system and a fracture-resistant body. It allows you to engage with the world without the constant fear of getting sick or hurting yourself. It turns your diet into a shield, protecting your independence. 7. The skin and tissue integrity. Prioritize eggs to accelerate wound healing and improve skin elasticity. One of the visible signs of aging is the thinning of the skin. It becomes like parchment paper, bruising easily and tearing with the slightest bump. This happens because collagen production slows down and the subcutaneous fat layer that cushions our blood vessels diminishes. Beyond the cosmetic concern, thin skin is a medical risk. Slow healing wounds can become infected and limit mobility. Seniors often find that a simple scrape takes weeks to disappear. Nutrition plays a massive role in tissue repair. Your skin is hungry for protein, healthy fats, and specific vitamins like biotin, vitamin B7, and vitamin A, all of which are abundant in eggs. I remember Thomas, 71, who was an avid gardener but constantly had bruises and scrapes on his forearms that wouldn't heal. He called them his battle scars, but his wife was worried about infection. He had a low appetite for meat and mostly ate soups and bread. We increased his egg consumption to ensure he was getting adequate protein for tissue repair. After a month, Thomas remarked with surprise that a cut on his hand had healed in just a few days, something that hadn't happened in years. His wife noted that his skin looked less translucent and healthier. The constant intake of amino acids provided the building blocks his body needed to close wounds efficiently. Biotin is famous for hair and nail health, but it is equally important for the skin. It supports the production of fatty acids that nourish the skin, keeping it hydrated and pliable. Dry, cracking skin is a common complaint among the elderly, and while lotions help, internal hydration through healthy fats is superior. The fats in the egg yolk are incorporated into your cell membranes, making them more fluid and resilient. This helps your skin retain moisture from the inside out. Eggs also contain retinol, vitamin A, which is crucial for cell turnover. It helps your body shed old, damaged skin cells and replace them with fresh, new ones. This turnover rate slows down significantly with age, leading to dull, rough skin. Retinol speeds this up. While many people spend fortunes on retinol creams, eating retinol-rich foods like eggs provides systemic benefits that reach every square inch of your skin, not just your face. Furthermore, the sulfur found in eggs is essential for the production of collagen and keratin. Collagen provides the structure and elasticity to your skin. While eating collagen, like in bone broth, is popular, providing your body with the sulfur and amino acids to make its own collagen is just as effective. Eggs are a complete package for collagen synthesis. This doesn't mean your wrinkles will vanish, but the structural integrity of your skin, its ability to stretch and bounce back, will improve. To maximize this benefit, ensure you are staying hydrated with water alongside your egg consumption. The combination of hydration and healthy fats is the ultimate remedy for dry, aging skin. You can also pair your eggs with vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers or citrus, eaten separately if you have reflux, as vitamin C is the final piece of the puzzle for collagen production. A bell pepper and egg scramble is a powerful skin food meal. If you are prone to slow healing due to diabetes or poor circulation, this dietary change is even more critical. Protein is the #1 nutrient required for wound healing. By ensuring a high intake through eggs, you are giving your body the best possible chance to repair itself. This supports stronger skin that resists tearing and bruising. It moves you from a state of fragility to a state of resilience. You might notice your nails are harder and your hair has more body, but the real victory is the confidence that your body can repair the minor injuries of daily life without complication. 8. The inflammatory joint defense. Eat eggs daily to lubricate your joints and reduce morning stiffness. Joint pain and stiffness are among the most common complaints for adults over 60. Waking up and feeling like your knees, hips, or fingers are rusted shut can severely limit your desire to move or engage in your daily activities. We often attribute this entirely to wear and tear or osteoarthritis, assuming the physical cartilage is simply gone. While cartilage loss is a factor, the primary driver of the pain and stiffness you feel is often systemic inflammation. The standard senior diet, heavy in refined carbohydrates and industrial seed oils, acts like fuel for this inflammatory fire. Your joints become swollen and tender not just from use, but from the food you eat. Eggs, contrary to outdated advice, offer a unique combination of anti-inflammatory nutrients and structural proteins that can help soothe angry joints. I think of a man named David, 69 years old, who had given up his daily walks because his knees ached so badly every morning. He was relying on over-the-counter pain relievers just to get down his stairs. His breakfast was typically a large bowl of sweetened cereal with skim milk, which spiked his blood sugar and triggered an inflammatory cascade. We replaced his cereal with a daily habit of 4 to 5 eggs. Within 3 weeks, David noticed the morning stiffness was subsiding much faster. He wasn't entirely pain-free, but the deep, throbbing ache that kept him inactive had dulled significantly. He found he could walk to the end of his driveway and then, eventually, around his block again. The shift from a pro-inflammatory breakfast to an anti-inflammatory protein-rich one gave his joints a chance to quiet down. The key to this relief lies in the specific fatty acids and antioxidants found in the egg yolk. While eggs contain some omega-6 fatty acids, they also provide a crucial balance of omega-3s, especially if you choose eggs from hens fed a diet rich in flaxseed or pasture-raised. Omega-3 fatty acids are powerful anti-inflammatory agents that help reduce the production of inflammatory cytokines in the body. Think of them as a cooling agent for your joints. Furthermore, the yolk contains a compound called choline, which we discussed earlier for brain health, but which also plays a role in reducing markers of systemic inflammation like C-reactive protein, CRP. High CRP levels are strongly correlated with joint pain and arthritis severity. Beyond reducing inflammation, eggs provide the necessary building blocks for joint repair. Your cartilage and the synovial fluid that lubricates your joints require specific amino acids to maintain their integrity. Eggs are a complete protein, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids in the perfect proportions. One of these, methionine, is particularly important for cartilage health. Sulfur-containing amino acids like methionine are essential for the production of collagen and proteoglycans, the structural components of your cartilage. When you eat eggs, you are delivering these raw materials directly to your joints, supporting their ability to maintain whatever cushion remains. To get the most benefit for your joints, the preparation method is vital. Frying eggs in inflammatory vegetable oils like corn, soybean, or canola oil will negate the anti-inflammatory benefits of the egg itself. These oils are highly processed and promote inflammation in the body. Instead, you should cook your eggs in a high-quality, stable fat. Poaching or boiling are excellent oil-free methods. If you prefer them cooked in a pan, use a small amount of extra virgin olive oil, grass-fed butter, or ghee. These fats are much kinder to your joints and support the absorption of the fat-soluble vitamins in the yolk. It is also important to consider what you are not eating when you choose eggs. By having eggs for breakfast, you are likely skipping the toast, the bagels, and the sugary pastries. Refined carbohydrates are notorious for driving up insulin levels, and high insulin is a known trigger for systemic inflammation. Simply removing these inflammatory triggers from your first meal of the day can have a profound impact on how your joints feel by the afternoon. It is a dual approach, removing the irritant and introducing the soothing nutrients. If you are currently taking prescription medication for rheumatoid arthritis or severe osteoarthritis, do not stop taking it. Eggs are a dietary support, not a replacement for medical treatment. However, many seniors find that a deeply anti-inflammatory diet can improve their response to treatment and reduce the frequency of their flare-ups. Always discuss significant dietary changes with your rheumatologist or primary care physician. This supports smoother movement and less reliance on pain relievers. It allows you to wake up with the confidence that your body will cooperate with your plans for the day. By feeding your joints the anti-inflammatory fats and structural proteins they need, you are actively protecting your mobility and your independence. 9. The deep sleep regulator. Consume eggs in the evening to optimize your sleep architecture and reduce nighttime awakenings. Sleep architecture changes dramatically as we age. Seniors often experience less deep, restorative sleep and more frequent awakenings throughout the night. You might fall asleep easily, but wake up at 2 a.m. unable to drift off again, leaving you exhausted the next day. This fragmented sleep is not just an annoyance. It accelerates cognitive decline. weakens the immune system, and disrupts metabolic hormones. We often blame a shrinking bladder or aches and pains, but frequently, the culprit is a hidden blood sugar crash or a lack of the specific amino acids needed to produce sleep hormones. While we have focused on eggs for breakfast, strategically moving some of your egg intake to your evening meal can have a profound impact on your sleep quality. I remember a patient named Susan, 73 years old, who complained of terrible insomnia. She would eat a light dinner, often just a salad or some soup, trying to manage her weight. By midnight, she was wide awake, her mind racing, and she felt a subtle physical anxiety. What she was experiencing was a nocturnal hypoglycemic event. Her blood sugar was dropping too low, triggering a release of cortisol and adrenaline to bring it back up. These stress hormones act like an internal alarm clock. We adjusted her dinner to include a small omelet or 2 hard-boiled eggs. The high-quality protein and fat stabilized her blood sugar through the night. Within a week, Susan reported sleeping through the night for the first time in years. The anxiety disappeared, replaced by a deep, uninterrupted rest. The secret behind eggs as a sleep aid is their high concentration of the amino acid tryptophan. Tryptophan is an essential building block that your body cannot produce on its own. It is the direct precursor to serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for feelings of calm and well-being. Serotonin, in turn, is converted into melatonin, the hormone that dictates your sleep-wake cycle. When you consume tryptophan-rich foods like eggs, you are providing your brain with the exact raw materials it needs to manufacture its own natural sleep signals. This is far more effective and sustainable than relying on synthetic melatonin supplements, which can often disrupt your body's natural production over time. Furthermore, the fat in the egg yolk plays a crucial role in sleep continuity. When you eat a dinner consisting only of carbohydrates or very lean protein, your body digests it quickly. A few hours later, your blood sugar begins to dip. The fat in the egg yolk slows down the entire digestive process. It ensures a slow, steady trickle of nutrients and energy into your bloodstream over many hours. This stable blood sugar environment tells your brain that you are safe and nourished, allowing it to transition into the deeper stages of sleep without the panic of a perceived energy shortage. To utilize eggs for sleep, you don't need to eat all 5 right before bed. A heavy meal too close to sleep can cause acid reflux and discomfort, which will only worsen your insomnia. Instead, try incorporating 2 eggs into your evening meal, perhaps alongside some roasted vegetables or a small piece of fish. If you prefer a lighter dinner, a single hard-boiled egg an hour before bed can serve as the perfect sleep-inducing snack. It provides enough tryptophan and fat to stabilize your system without overwhelming your digestion. You must be careful not to pair your evening eggs with stimulants or large amounts of refined carbohydrates. If you have an egg but wash it down with a glass of wine or a sugary dessert, you will negate the sleep benefits. Alcohol fragments sleep architecture, and sugar causes the very blood sugar spikes and crashes you are trying to avoid. Keep the evening meal focused on protein, healthy fats, and fiber to set the stage for optimal rest. If you suffer from severe sleep apnea or have been diagnosed with a clinical sleep disorder, diet alone will not cure it. You must continue to use your CPAP machine or follow your doctor's treatment plan. However, optimizing your brain chemistry with tryptophan and stabilizing your blood sugar will support your medical treatments and help you achieve the best possible rest within your current physical limitations. This supports more continuous, restorative sleep cycles. It means waking up feeling genuinely refreshed rather than dragging yourself out of bed. When you sleep well, your memory is sharper, your balance is better, and your overall resilience to stress is significantly higher. 10. The nerve function restorer. Eat eggs to protect your peripheral nerves and maintain precise balance. Peripheral neuropathy, characterized by tingling, numbness, or a burning sensation in the hands and feet, is a growing problem for adults over 60. It is most commonly associated with diabetes, but it can also be caused by poor circulation, chronic inflammation, or severe vitamin deficiencies. When the nerves in your feet lose their sensitivity, your risk of falling skyrockets because your brain is no longer receiving accurate information about the ground beneath you. You might find yourself shuffling or constantly looking at your feet when you walk. The myelin sheath, the protective coating around your nerves, requires specific B vitamins and healthy fats to maintain its integrity. A diet lacking in these nutrients leaves your nerves exposed and vulnerable to damage. I recall a gentleman named Richard, 76, who had started using a cane because he said he couldn't feel his toes anymore. He didn't have diabetes, but his diet was very poor, consisting mostly of tea, toast, and canned soups. He was terrified of falling and breaking a hip. His doctor noted a severe vitamin B12 deficiency. We immediately introduced a high daily intake of eggs. Eggs are one of the most bioavailable sources of B12, along with other essential B vitamins. Over several months, Richard noticed the tingling in his feet began to recede. While the numbness didn't disappear entirely, his proprioception, his awareness of where his feet were in space, improved dramatically. He felt confident enough to put the cane away for short walks around his home. The targeted nutrition allowed his nervous system to halt the damage and begin the slow process of repair. Vitamin B12 is absolutely non-negotiable for nerve health. It is essential for the production and maintenance of myelin. As we age, our stomachs produce less of the intrinsic factor needed to absorb B12 from meat, leading to widespread but often silent deficiencies. The B12 found in egg yolks is highly absorbable and can help correct these deficits. When myelin is healthy, electrical signals travel quickly and accurately along your nerves. This means your brain instantly knows when you step on an uneven surface, allowing your muscles to react immediately to prevent a fall. Without adequate B12, these signals slow down or misfire, leading to clumsiness and poor balance. In addition to B12, the choline in eggs, which we discussed for brain health, is vital for peripheral nerves as well. Choline is used to produce acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that operates at the neuromuscular junction, the exact point where your nerves tell your muscles to contract. If you are deficient in choline, the communication between your nervous system and your muscular system becomes sluggish. By eating 5 eggs a day, you are flooding your system with the choline needed to keep this communication crisp and responsive. This translates to faster reaction times and better physical coordination. To ensure you are getting the maximum nerve-protecting benefits, you must eat the yolk. The egg white is almost entirely protein. The B vitamins, the choline, and the healthy fats required for myelin repair are all concentrated in the yolk. If you have been eating egg white omelets in an attempt to be healthy, you have been depriving your nervous system of its most critical nutrients. Embrace the whole egg as a complete package designed by nature to support complex biological systems. It is vital to maintain a balanced approach. While eggs are powerful, nerve repair is notoriously slow. You must be consistent with your diet for months to see significant changes in peripheral neuropathy. Additionally, if your neuropathy is caused by uncontrolled high blood sugar, eating eggs alone will not fix the problem if you are still consuming large amounts of sugar and refined carbohydrates throughout the rest of the day. The diet must work as a cohesive whole to lower inflammation and provide structural support. If you experience sudden, severe numbness or a rapid loss of balance, this is not something to treat with diet alone. This could be a sign of a more serious neurological event, such as a stroke or a compressed nerve, and requires immediate medical attention. Eggs are a long-term nutritional strategy for maintaining and slowly repairing nerve function, not an emergency intervention. This supports better spatial awareness and quicker physical reflexes. It gives you the confidence to navigate stairs, uneven sidewalks, and crowded spaces without the constant anxiety of losing your footing. By nourishing your nerves, you are maintaining the vital connection between your brain and your body. 11. The hair and nail fortifier. Prioritize whole eggs to reverse thinning hair and strengthen brittle nails. While often dismissed as purely cosmetic, the health of your hair and nails is a direct reflection of your internal metabolic state. As we age past 60, many notice their hair thinning, losing its luster, and shedding more rapidly. Nails become ridged, prone to splitting, and paper-thin. This isn't just getting older, it is often a sign of reduced protein absorption, declining hormone levels, and specific micronutrient deficiencies. Your body is smart. When resources are scarce, it prioritizes vital organs like the heart and brain. shutting down the nutrient supply to non-essential tissues like hair and nails. The structural basis of both hair and nails is a protein called keratin. If your diet lacks the specific amino acids and vitamins needed to synthesize keratin, the physical evidence will show up on your head and your hands. I think of a woman named Barbara, 67, who was deeply distressed by how thin her hair had become. She was buying expensive shampoos and topical treatments that promised volume but delivered nothing. Her nails were so brittle she had to keep them filed to the quick to prevent painful tears. Her diet was low in protein and fats, as she was still following the low-fat dietary advice of the 1990s. We changed her morning routine to include 3 eggs, ensuring she ate the yolks. After 3 months of consistent daily intake, Barbara's hairdresser remarked on a significant amount of new growth. Her nails were growing out smooth and strong enough to extend past her fingertips. The external change was profound, but it merely reflected that her body finally had enough structural protein to spare. The primary engine for this change is the high concentration of sulfur-containing amino acids in eggs, specifically methionine and cysteine. These are the direct building blocks of keratin. Without them, your body simply cannot produce strong, resilient hair strands or dense nail plates. A diet deficient in these amino acids leads to hair that is weak at the shaft and prone to breakage. Eggs provide a highly bioavailable source of these exact structural components, delivering them in a form your body can easily digest and utilize. Equally important is the biotin, vitamin B7, found abundantly in the egg yolk. Biotin is essential for the metabolism of amino acids and fats, processes crucial for hair follicle health. While true biotin deficiency is rare, optimizing your intake can significantly improve the thickness and strength of your hair and nails. Many seniors take isolated biotin supplements, but consuming it within the complex matrix of a whole food like an egg, where it is accompanied by complementary B vitamins, fats, and proteins, is far more effective. The fat in the yolk also helps moisturize the scalp from the inside out, reducing the dryness and flaking that can inhibit healthy hair growth. To maximize the benefits for your hair and nails, ensure you are not overcooking the eggs, particularly the yolk. While you must cook the whites fully for safety and protein digestion, a softer yolk preserves more of the delicate B vitamins and healthy fats. Poaching or soft boiling are excellent methods. Remember, the goal is to deliver these nutrients in their most active, undamaged state. You must be patient when looking for these results. Hair grows slowly, roughly ½ an inch per month, and nails take even longer to replace themselves entirely from the cuticle to the tip. You will not see a change in a week. The new, stronger growth has to push out the old, weak tissue. Consistency over 3 to 6 months is required to see the full transformation. Think of it as a long-term investment in your structural health. 12. The liver detoxification engine. Consume eggs to support your liver's ability to clear toxins and process metabolic waste. The liver is your body's master filtration system and metabolic hub. By the time we reach our 60s, our livers have processed decades of medications, environmental toxins, and dietary choices. The efficiency of this vital organ can slow down, leading to a buildup of metabolic waste that leaves you feeling sluggish, foggy, and chronically fatigued. We often hear about detox diets involving juices or fasts, which can be dangerous for seniors as they strip the body of necessary protein and energy. True detoxification is an active, nutrient-dependent process. The liver requires specific amino acids and compounds to bind to toxins and safely excrete them. Eggs provide a concentrated dose of the exact nutrients the liver uses for its 2-phase detoxification pathways. I remember a patient named Walter, 72, who felt constantly lethargic and complained of a dull ache under his right rib cage. He was taking several prescription medications for blood pressure and cholesterol. His doctor had noted slightly elevated liver enzymes on his blood work, indicating his liver was under stress. Walter enjoyed a nightly glass of wine and often ate processed meats for lunch. We reduced his alcohol and processed food intake and introduced a daily habit of 4 eggs. We focused on eggs because of their high choline content. Over 2 months, Walter's energy levels rebounded significantly. His subsequent blood work showed his liver enzymes had returned to the normal range. The choline in the eggs provided his liver with the specific tool it needed to clear the backlog of fat and metabolic stress. Choline is arguably the most critical nutrient for liver health, and eggs are its premier source. Choline is required to produce phosphatidylcholine, a substance that helps move fat out of the liver. If you are deficient in choline, fat begins to accumulate within the liver cells, a condition known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD. This condition is increasingly common in seniors and severely impairs the liver's ability to detoxify the blood. By eating 5 eggs a day, you are flooding your system with choline, actively supporting the export of fat from the liver and preventing this dangerous accumulation. If you know someone over 50 who is struggling with fatigue, muscle loss, or metabolic issues, please share this video with them. It could provide the exact perspective shift they need to change their trajectory. And if you found this information valuable, subscribe to the channel for more calm, practical, science-backed health strategies designed to keep you strong, sharp, and independent. I will see you in the next video.